Hello, besties. Welcome to another episode of Your New BFF. I'm your host, Sophie, and in this podcast, we chit chat all about positivity, realness, and the journey to your highest self. After this episode, I want you to leave feeling inspired and high vibe. So let's tune in because I'm so excited you're here with me today. Hello, besties. Welcome back to another episode of Y.N.B.F.F. As always, I am so excited to be with you here today and to get into today's chit chat. It's one that I feel like has been brewing up, and the time has come for me to kind of chit chat with you guys about this. I feel like the last episode, navigating through the fake energy, kind of goes hands in hand with this episode. If you haven't heard episode 25, it's called Navigating Through the Fake Energy. Kind of how to navigate, how to decipher fake energy, fake people that we encounter, honestly, on a day-to-day basis. It's a topic that I feel really strong and pretty expert about. So this episode today, I wanted to talk about comparison and how comparison kills. It's going to kill your dreams, your vision, your gratitude, your mindset. All the hard work that you've been working on yourself, bestie, is going to basically go out the window when you start comparing yourself to other people. Side note, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a life update. I know that I haven't uploaded in like 2 weeks. And I have just been on grind mode, but I am coming from such a good place, you guys. I am feeling so high vibe, and I am attacking this energy that I have all built up to just take action. Like I've gotten all of this bottled up energy in me that I am just putting out. And I feel like it's because I've worked on my mindset for so long. And although I still have taken and do take steps of action, I am just at a point now where I am just so ready to see my mindset and my manifestations manifest. And even though already so many have, and I am so grateful for, I'm just ready for that catapult. And like I've told you guys in so many other episodes, big actions equal big results. And like I've also told you guys in so many episodes, this is a journey, and our journey changes and fluctuates. And there's so many times where we have to go back, modify our journey, do the T-chart again. What's not working for us? What are we going to change it? What habits are we implementing? And I'm just so happy that I'm here to share this with you guys, because I'm here to motivate you guys, inspire you guys to take your own journey to self-development, to self-growth, and to spirituality, and to really get in tune with yourself and create an experience, create an energy, and create a life where you can manifest your highest desires. So I just wanted to give you a little side note about what's been going on in my life. And if you are new here, I start each episode with a quote that's going to lead us into today's chit chat. And I wanted to go with a very simple quote today, but it's so true. And it's one of the oldest quotes that I feel like I have heard this quote for years and years and years, probably decades at this point. And it's, comparison is the thief of joy. Those 6 little words by Theodore Roosevelt are fact, and it is so true. And I will say that for you one more time. If you guys haven't heard that quote, I'm sure you have heard it at some point in your life. Comparison is the thief of joy. And one of the biggest reasons why, there are so many reasons on why comparing yourself is not good and not beneficial to our self-development journey. Oh my God, just looked at the clock, you guys, and I just saw 2 angel numbers, which, by the way, I had to side note and sidetrack here because the angels have been speaking to me nonstop, besties, and I just saw 1010 and 444. 444 has been coming up like so much lately. All right, we're going back to it. If you guys have been seeing loads of angel numbers, go to Instagram and drop your angel numbers in there. Would love to chit chat with you about the signs that you're seeing. So one of the main reasons why comparison is so harmful to our self-development and spiritual journey is because our personal uniqueness is neglected. And our uniqueness and our individuality is so important to find and to get in tune with for our journey, you guys. And that's basically the whole main idea of Your New BFF podcast. I am inspired to help others find their uniqueness and find their individuality. We all have different strengths, weaknesses, interests, and qualities and talents and so many different things and experiences, and our journeys are so different that when we compare ourselves, we are hindering ourselves from personal growth. We are hindering ourselves from finding our authentic selves, which our authentic selves is what's going to lead us to the path to our higher self, to our next level self. So by hindering our authentic selves, we're doing ourselves a lot of harm in this journey. We have to focus on your goals, focus on yourself. You have to work on finding yourself and who you are. And by focusing on self focus allows individuals to develop emotional intelligence, to develop understanding, to help us manage our emotions. When we're focusing on ourselves and not on other people, we can really prioritize our mindset to setting meaningful and achievable goals that align with our aspirations and who we ultimately see ourselves and our life to be. So it basically just gives us more clarity, which is what we need to provide direction in this journey of personal development. So it's extremely important, you guys. And when we focus on ourselves, we can really get to know ourselves and embrace ourselves and avoid that comparison. So really embracing authenticity, like I've mentioned in the beginning, and it's just so important, and that's why I wanted to start off with this, because embracing your authenticity is what's going to allow us to live in alignment with our value and pursue the paths that are going to bring us the most happiness and fulfillment. So before we even start getting into like how am I even comparing myself, the first step to self-development, the first step to changing any aspect of our lives is going to be self-awareness. Self-reflection and setting personal goals, making the T chart and taking the steps to prioritize our well-being and personal development. So these are some ways that I like to personally focus on myself to kind of veer away towards comparison, is setting boundaries. And I'm going to make a whole episode on this. You guys, I'm not even joking, you guys, like for a whole week, I was like procrastinating because I didn't know if I should make this episode first or the boundaries episode first. Like I was just so in between both, but I felt like deep down, literally, I just wanted to talk about comparing ourselves because I feel like boundaries, it's something we've all heard about, and it's actually not talked about as much as it should be. Boundaries and learning to say no to activities or to commitments, to experiences or to people that do not align with our goals or our well-being is going to help us focus on ourselves. It's going to help us focus on what truly, truly matters to us and our path. And I wanted to preface this episode by going into this because focusing on yourself is not selfish. This is an essential part of personal growth and well-being, because I feel like for so long everyone thinks comparison is kind of, oh, okay, well, by comparing myself I can see how far or how much growth I have or have left to do. But by prioritizing your own needs and your own aspirations, you guys, this is where the real fulfillment and sense of purpose is going to come. And it takes stepping away from the comparison to really notice that when you prioritize your self-reflection and introspection, you are gaining clarity about your life purpose and the goals that you want to pursue. So I just cannot state how important this is, that when you're focusing on you, your sense of purpose, is going to guide you and your actions in the right direction of life. And I just want you guys to really let that sink in and know how important that is. When we start comparing ourselves to others, we start losing focus on ourselves and we start putting our focus on their positive aspects, on their achievements, on their wins, while ignoring all of their struggles, all of their failures, all of the toxic experiences, toxic people they've dealt with in their life. And this subconsciously is so important because that's really where our mind and the way we think develops. This is going to create unrealistic standards for ourselves. And it leads to feeling like I'm not enough, like we're not measuring up to this idealized version of yourself that or this idealized version of others that you're giving yourself. Everyone's journey is different. Everyone's journey is unique. It doesn't matter if you grew up in this with the same exact in the same exact tax bracket, in the same exact neighborhood. Oh, we went to the same high school, we went to the same college. It does not matter because all of our journeys are unique, all of our lives are unique, and comparing ourselves to others is just not fair. We all have different backgrounds, we all have different experiences, resources, opportunities, and this can really significantly impact everyone's journeys, achievements, and circumstances. Sometimes we have to go through certain realizations and certain mindset glow ups or certain life experiences to get to the point that we are now. Constantly comparing yourselves is going to distract you from your own personal growth, and it's going to distract you from your self improvement because we're going to be spending time worrying about how we measure up to others rather than just focusing on your progress. You're just going to be obsessed with finding out how you can get to that person's level, how you can get to that person's physique, whatever comparison you might be using. If you are feeling feelings of inadequacy, bestie, maybe of jealousy of others' possessions or successes, if you're constantly seeking validation from others, from social media, from a certain award, if I get, for example, if your mindset is I have to get to this to feel good enough, that's seeking validation. If you're always looking for your own flaws, like looking at what do I have wrong with myself? What do I have wrong? That is comparison. If you're feeling insecure about if you're feeling insecure about others' success in whatever aspect of life, that could be a sign of comparison. If you're setting unrealistic standards for yourselves, like I have to be or look a certain way, that's setting comparison. If you're feeling anxious, unhappy, doubtful after you get off social media, that might mean that you're getting on social media and subconsciously comparing yourself. If you constantly feel the need to outdo others or try to outshine others, that is also a way of comparing yourself. And if you're obsessed with social media and always going back on there and trying to see everyone's curated images and achievements and what they've done, that can be a way of comparison, besties. And this is highly hindering your self-development journey, and it's highly harmful to your journey and getting to your next level self. And like I've always told you guys, sometimes these feelings are a little bit normal. Our ego is there to sometimes help us. Our ego is sometimes there to give you that nudge, hey, if I'm feeling a little bit unhappy by seeing this person's success, that can mean that maybe you want to shift your goals, or you want to change your habits to maybe emulate a similar outcome. However, if you're feeling like this every single day, if you are feeling like this the majority of the day, if your feelings are taking over the majority of the day, and you constantly find yourself feeling anxious, happy, going back to social media, trying to always outdo yourself, trying to always set unrealistic standards, then this can become a toxic place to be in. And I think a lot of times we feel like we're chasing our dreams, we feel like we're getting to our next level self, but it's coming from a place of fear. It's coming from a place of comparison. It's not coming from a place where you want to compare yourself to who you were yesterday. It's not coming from a place of you are doing this for you and because you love yourself. Be kind to yourself, because developing this kindness and self-compassion on yourself is the first step to helping you. Don't don't get mad at yourself and don't hate yourself like, "Oh my god, now I'm comparing myself. I realized it. Like, this is so annoying. Why am I like this way?" No. You have to be kind, be mindful, pay attention to when you find yourself comparing yourself to others, and acknowledge these moments and those thoughts without any judgment. Just being aware that you're having the thoughts of comparison and being aware of what you're doing is going to help you and be the first steps towards changing that behavior. And sometimes, like I told you guys, everyone is different, and some levels of comparison can be worse than others. It can be on a very light level that you're like, "Oh my god," because that's kind of what happened to me. I'm like, I barely even noticed that I was doing that, or I was comparing myself to a version of myself that was so long ago. I'm like, "Oh my god, but look, why am I comparing myself to this version of myself? Look how far my mindset has come. Look how much I have changed." And just because sometimes you don't see the changes always in the 3D world doesn't mean that changes haven't happened, besties. To cultivate joy, to cultivate the feelings of happiness and high frequency, besties, it takes time. It's a practice. It's essential to practice self compassion. It's essential to practice gratitude. And if you are listening to this episode, I highly suggest listening to the key to manifesting everything you want. I have that episode, and I'm also going to link it in the show notes because I feel like it's it goes very hand in hand with this. And since I've started practicing gratitude more, my mindset has become more clear. My path has become more clear. My path has become more intentional. Gratitude helps you celebrate your own achievements and your own progress and your own journey, rather than constantly comparing yourselves to other. So the important thing is to embrace your uniqueness, embrace your unique journey that is so different than anybody else's, and that's what makes it so special. Because when you focus on you and all the amazing things that you bring and all the amazing experiences that you're going to have on your journey, besties, that's what's going to lead us into our fulfilling and more joyful life. Remember that this is a practice. Remember that this does not happen overnight, because I find that that's so important to share with you guys. I see so many people right now on social media being so hard on themselves for not being a certain way or being at a certain status or having what they thought they would be a certain way by a certain age. That's so toxic. That's comparing yourself. Remember that breaking this habit of comparison, it takes time, it takes effort. Be patient with yourself. Practice self-compassion as you work on adapting that healthier perspective and embrace your unique journey. Focusing on yourself is going to empower you to take charge of your life and your decisions, and it's going to lead to increased productivity and efficiency, and you're going to see all your manifestations happen and come to life. So please be patient with yourselves, be gentle, practice self-compassion. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into today's episode. I found it to be so important and so inspirational. I'm so glad that I recorded this for you guys today. If you are new here, I end each podcast with 3 affirmations that you can take with yourselves for the week, and these are the 3 for today. I love and accept myself unconditionally. I choose self-compassion over self-criticism. I am confident in my abilities and trust in my potential. Besties, thank you so much for tuning in today. I am so excited that I showed up for you guys. Please share this podcast with friends and family that you think might need to hear this or that would like this sort of content. Please go ahead and tag and share on your Instagram story. Would love to hear from you guys. And please don't forget to leave a review. It helps the podcast grow so much. Again, thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in. And I can't wait to chit chat with you on our next episode. Bye. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Y.N.B.F.F. If you love what you heard, please support by following our podcast and leaving a stellar review. You can also follow my socials posted in the show notes. I am so excited to catch you in the next episode, and until then, stay feeling high, blessed, and divine, besties. Bye!